Now is one of the greatest times in history to be investing in multifamily real estate. With hundreds of millions of dollars literally moving from the stock market into alternative assets like real estate every single day, we're in the midst of a golden era. And one of the keys to success is learning how to avoid those upcoming pitfalls and mastering the process of how to scale as an operator in the multifamily business. Regardless if you're just getting started, if you've been in the game for decades, you've got to join us for this very special training put on by the Multifamily MBA on how to scale from 0 to 2,400 units, the 3 biggest secrets from building a $320 million multifamily portfolio. Register to join us at the investormindset.com/MFMBA. That's the investormindset.com/MFMBA. Look forward to seeing you there. Is there anything else that you want to let people know if they're thinking about going down this path towards investing passively that they need to know so that they aren't just sitting on the fence, afraid of getting started, and they don't end up going down the path of making the wrong call?
Yeah, it's really important. One of the big driving motivators for me to write this book was a friend of mine who lost her entire life savings by making the wrong decision investing with the wrong syndication sponsor. Turned out he was a crook, and now he's in prison, and she lost her whole life savings. So you don't want to make a mistake. And the biggest mistake that I think people make is having a single point of failure. And so, there's always this question of what's more important, the sponsor or the deal. And I strongly believe the sponsor is more important than the deal. And if you're investing with the right people, they should be bringing you the right deals. At the same time, you also want to make sure that you have diversification. In other words, you've invested in a number of different assets. You've invested in a number of different sponsors, and you've invested in different asset classes. So, the perfect portfolio is kind of like with stocks. You don't want to just invest everything in Amazon. You might want to have some tech and some energy and some, consumer goods. Same kind of thing here where you might want to have some multifamily, you might want to have some self-storage, maybe some mobile home parks, maybe office, maybe hotel, depending on the timing of all those different things. And have those with different sponsors in different locations where some of them might be in Arizona and some of them might be in Florida. The idea is to eliminate any single point of failure. And that was the mistake that my friend made. She invested her entire life savings with one sponsor in one deal. And when that went south, it was all gone. So don't let that happen to you.
No, yeah, diversification, such an important thing, and it's such a good reminder that even if you've got somebody that you really, really trust and that is doing phenomenal work for you, sometimes it makes sense to spread that portfolio money across multiple different sponsors or different properties so that you can be put in the best position for the long term.
That's right. Protect your downside, because if you don't protect your downside, the upside is meaningless. You can't get rich losing money.
That's absolutely true. And I just want to remind everyone, thank you guys for listening to the Investor Mindset podcast. We've been growing like crazy, and I can tell from the stats that we are seeing a lot of new folks joining us on the show every single week. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you've listened to more than 3 shows, it's time to pay the piper. This is a free show. And one of the best ways for us to reach more people is actually for you to just go drop a review on your favorite podcasting app. So please do that for us. Leave us an honest written review, however you feel. And we greatly appreciate you being here with us. So we've made it to the growth rapid fire round where the questions are quick, but the answers don't need to be. Tell me, Brian, how would you define success, and what is success to you?
Wow, interesting question. It's I define success as having kind of a well-rounded approach to life and a good work-life balance. And that I think is probably made me feel more successful than any amount of numbers that you can put on a spreadsheet. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. And how have you gone about doing that? Yeah, that's the hard part to implement, right? Is trying to balance that work and life. For me, we recently got a vacation home in Hawaii, so we can spend a lot of time there. And I can run my business from the beach and just, watch the waves and the whales and still keep the business running, but also be able to spend, quality time with my wife and get away from the hustle and bustle of the day to day.
Today's episode is sponsored by Von Finch Capital. If you're interested in investing alongside me in the same type of real estate opportunities that I personally invest in, then head over to Von Finch Capital and join their private investor network. You can do so at vonfinch.com/invest. Join me on that next deal, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside. That's so great. That's inspiring. And I think that's the way you got to do it. You got to set yourself up to actually have some time to get away so that when you get back to work, you're working even harder on the things that matter, and you're doing it for the right reasons. So what are some of the keystone habits or the things you do on a daily or weekly basis that have led to some of that success?
Well, some of it's lifestyle by design. I don't like to waste a lot of time. So, I made sure that my office and my house are like within just a few minutes drive of one another. So I don't spend a lot of time commuting on the road. And, it's just about be as efficient as I can with the time that I have so that I can spend more time on the things I like to do. And so it's really a conscious decision that you have to make every single day. It doesn't just happen on its own.
Beautiful. And what's a book that's impacted your life the most, or one you're excited about right now?
Geez, Rich Dad, Poor Dad was a big one for me. I read that when it first came out. When was that? 20, 25 years ago? I don't even know how long it's been now. But that was a big thing to teach me about the why. More currently, I would say a real impactful book that I got a lot out of was called TED Talks. And it was written by the CEO of the TED Talk organization. One of the things that is really important in being a investment syndication sponsor is getting awareness of what you do. And getting awareness means public speaking. And public speaking can be really challenging for people. And while I've always felt that it wasn't as scary for me, you always know that there's ways that you can improve. And this book really helped me find ways to improve public speaking, which in turn results in additional exposure for my business and, additional opportunities for everyone. So great book.
That's huge. I'll definitely have to check that out and add that to the list. So inspiration, what impacts have mentors made on your life, and how do you recommend others go out and find great mentors?
Man, I'm the absolute worst person to ask that question to, because I never had a mentor. I never went through a coaching program. In retrospect, I probably would have done much better if I had. I was one of those guys that I had to figure it all out on my own, and spent years and years and years practicing and years losing my own money on deals and, kind of trial by fire. I always like to say I got a PhD from the School of Hard Knocks, and I have the tuition payments to prove it from, places where the deals I did didn't go well. So, man, I would think that if you had a mentor and a coach, it would really help you to avoid some of the mistakes I made. Because I used to think that you could just read it in a book and go, okay, I read the mistakes, now I won't repeat them. But humans just don't work that way. You have to screw up yourself before the lesson becomes meaningful.
Yeah, sometimes that's the way it's got to go. So finishing on this, purpose, what drives you to live your best life every day?
I love what I do. That's really what it comes down to. I like real estate. I like working for investors. I like making people money. I like helping people accomplish their objectives, their goals and objectives, their investment goals. More recently with this book, I've enjoyed, using my knowledge and experience of 30 years in this industry to help people understand what to look out for when they make passive investments, so that, maybe they won't have the same outcome as my friend who lost her whole life savings.
Well, I think that is so great. And, I just greatly, greatly appreciate you being here. Where can people find out more about you and obviously get a copy of the book?
Yeah, they can find out more about me and Praxis Capital on our company website. It's praxcap.com. It's praxcap.com. Of course, we have our Instagram channel. It's our handle is Praxcap, or my own, which is Investor Brian Burke. The book is biggerpockets.com/syndication book. Or it's also available on Amazon, and I think even some local bookstores if they ever get back opened up again.
Awesome. I highly recommend you guys go out and grab a copy of it, get it shipped to your house, and dive into it as soon as you can. And I will leave you guys as I always leave you, and that's with a reminder to live a life worth inspiring others. And you can do so today by actually applying what Brian taught us in your life, by going out and applying some of these strategies so that you can inspire others to go out and live a life, that is much, much greater and bigger than you ever thought you could. Thank you for listening to the Investor Mindset Podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Head over to theinvestormindset.com to join the Insider Club, where we share tools and strategies from the top investors and entrepreneurs on how to take it to the next level.